All right, so you're diving into the world of textiles, aiming for that textile dyeing technician role. That's awesome. We're here to help you prep for that interview using RoleCatcher's resources as our guide.
It's about more than just prepping, though. It's about understanding what those questions are really getting at.
Yeah, like what they're really looking for in a candidate.
Exactly. It's like they're trying to see if you've got the right stuff to thrive in this field.
Okay, so let's jump into some common questions. Imagine they hit you with, what motivated you to pursue this career path? Seems simple enough, but what's the strategy here?
They want more than just, I like colorful clothes, right? It's your chance to tell your story.
Okay, so like, how'd you get into this?
Right. Was it a fascination with color, a love for textiles, or maybe you stumbled upon RoleCatcher's career guide and had that aha moment?
So it's about connecting the dots for them, showing them how your passion, maybe even sparked by something like RoleCatcher, led you right to this interview.
Exactly. Now imagine the next one is, how do you ensure color consistency throughout the entire dyeing process? This is where that operations monitoring skill that RoleCatcher highlighted becomes super important.
Operations monitoring? Sounds kind of technical. What does that even mean in this context?
It's about being detail-oriented. Think
Right.
about all those dials and gauges on the dyeing equipment. It's understanding how even a tiny change in temperature or time can impact the final color.
So like precision is key.
Absolutely. And speaking of precision, they might even ask, can you give an example of a time a batch went off color and how you fixed it?
Oh, so they want to hear about a time you messed up.
Well, not exactly. It's not about highlighting a mistake, but showcasing how you problem solve. Remember those troubleshooting tales from the RoleCatcher guide?
Ah, right, right. So how do you answer this kind of question effectively? Should you have a specific example ready to go?
Having an example is good, but the key is to be specific. Don't just say, I fixed it. What was the exact problem? What steps did you take? Did you recalibrate equipment, adjust the dye formula, or consult with a colleague?
So you're painting a picture of yourself as a dying detective.
Exactly. You see a clue, gather evidence, and crack the case.
And I'm guessing mentioning the outcome is important too, right? Like, did you save the batch? Did you learn something new that you can apply in the future?
You got it. Now, let's talk teamwork for a sec. I bet they'll ask something like, can you describe a time you had to collaborate with colleagues on a dyeing project? Teamwork is essential, right?
Absolutely, especially in a fast-paced environment like that. So what kind of story should someone tell here? Any tips?
Think about a time you had to work with the team to overcome a challenge, maybe a complex order with multiple shades and fabrics, or a tight deadline.
Okay, so a real nail biter.
Exactly. Focus on your specific role, what you did, and the positive outcome of working together.
And it's okay to mention the challenges, right?
Mm.
Like, it shows you can handle the pressure.
Of course, acknowledging challenges shows resilience, which any employer would love.
It's like, hey, we got this, even when the dye vat nearly overflowed.
Exactly. Now, let's talk about something that's super important these days, sustainability.
Because who wants to wear clothes that harm the environment, right?
Right. Interviewers are definitely thinking about this. They might ask, how do you ensure dyeing processes align with sustainability standards?
So how do you answer that without sounding like you're just reciting a textbook?
This is where your research on eco-friendly practices comes in. Do you know about low-impact dyes? Waterless dyeing. Have you heard of the AATCC?
The what now?
The American Association of Textile Chemists and Colorists.
Oh, right, right. They're like the gurus of textile dyeing.
Oh, yeah.
So you're saying it's not enough to just say you care about the environment.
Right, you got to back it up with knowledge and your own proactive approach.
Show them you're not all talk. Now, before we get to more questions, can you quickly explain how RoleCatcher can help with all of this?
RoleCatcher's AI is pretty cool. It analyzes job descriptions to figure out what's important to that specific employer.
Okay, so it's like a secret weapon for interview prep.
Exactly. It helps you tailor your answers and your resume to really stand out.
That's awesome. Okay, let's get back to those interview questions. I'm ready for more. So, more about sustainability in the interview. I'm guessing it's more than just one question.
Yeah, they might dig a little deeper. Like, they could ask about specific sustainable dyeing techniques.
Okay, like what? Give me an example.
Well, they might ask about low-impact dyes or even waterless dyeing methods, or maybe natural dyes, the ones made from plants.
So they want to see you're not just talking the talk, but you actually know the methods.
Exactly. And this is where you can really shine by mentioning projects you've worked on. Like, did you ever experiment with natural dyes?
Right. Show them you've actually got your hands dirty.
Exactly. Okay, now switching gears a bit, let's talk troubleshooting. Imagine they ask, how do you, troubleshoot issues that pop up during the dyeing process?
Okay, so more troubleshooting tales.
Kind of, but this is broader. They
Yeah.
want to see you can handle anything. Remember, RoleCatcher mentioned this is key for moving up, becoming a senior technician.
Right, right. Problem solving. It's always about problem solving.
Exactly. So think about it like this. They want to see a structured approach. First, can you even identify what the problem is? Is it the color, a fabric issue, the machine itself?
Okay, so diagnose before you treat.
Exactly. Did you check the dye formula, the machine's settings? Be really specific here. Show them you get the technical stuff.
And then, bam,
Yeah.
come in with a solution.
Right. Explain how you fixed it. Did you recalibrate, adjust the timing, maybe even create a whole new quality check because of it? And the positive outcome.
So like, how'd you save the day and the batch of fabric?
You got it. Now, this next one trips people up. How do you stay current with, new dyeing tech and technique?
Oh, that's a good one. Because no one wants to be stuck in the past with their colors.
Totally. This is about showing you're curious, always learning.
So what's a good answer there? Like, do you have to be subscribed to every industry magazine?
It's more about genuine interest. Do you read industry stuff? Are there online forums or whatever you follow? Mention specifics like that AATCC journal.
Name dropping the big guys, I see. Smart.
But really engage with it. Any recent articles that got you thinking? Webinars?
So you're not just keeping up, but actually excited to learn new stuff.
Exactly. And tie it back to them, the company. Have they done any cool new tech?
Oh, smart. Show them you've done your homework.
Now, a more practical question. How do you manage your time when you've got multiple dyeing projects going at once?
Because let's be real, that's like every job these days.
It's all about organization, showing them you can prioritize.
Do I whip out my color-coded planner right there in the interview?
And maybe not. But talk about your process. Do you use any techniques?
Like that Pomodoro thing I've heard about.
Exactly. Or maybe you break projects down, prioritize by deadlines, show them you've got a system.
And that you can handle the heat when things get busy.
Exactly. Speaking of pressure, here's a classic. Describe a time you had to troubleshoot a really tough dyeing issue.
Okay, so this is those troubleshooting tales, but like next level.
Yeah, they want the really challenging one, the one that tested you.
Lay it all out there.
Choose something that really pushed your skills, walk them through it. What clues did you have? How did you diagnose it?
Did you have to, like, call in a dyeing consultant because it was so bad?
Maybe. Did you have to research weird techniques? The point is, how did you crack the case?
And how awesome were you when you did?
Exactly. The solution and what it says about you.
Love it. Okay, we've covered the problem solving, but what about the actual equipment? That stuff's got to be high maintenance.
For sure. They might ask, how do you make sure the dyeing equipment is, maintained and calibrated right?
Because happy machines means happy colors.
Exactly. Show them you're meticulous about this stuff.
So should I start talking about grease fittings and whatnot?
No need to get that technical. Talk about the why. Regular cleaning, inspections, logs of the machine's performance.
Keeping good records. I like it.
And calibration. That's huge E. If you know specific procedures, mention them.
Okay, so it's not just about cleaning, it's about understanding the tech behind it.
And if you can connect this to a specific time you prevented a problem, even better.
Like, I saved the company thousands because I know how to clean a filter.
Exactly. It shows you're proactive, not just reacting to messes.
Okay, we've covered a lot here.
Yeah.
Sustainability, troubleshooting, techie stuff.
And don't forget, while all this technical knowledge is key, those softer skills matter too.
Right, right. Being a good communicator, working with a team, all that good stuff.
It all adds up. Let's dive into that next.
So, soft skills, we were talking about those. It's like you can know all the technical stuff,
It's
but
not enough by itself, right?
exactly. Like I always think about that saying, you can lead a horse to water.
But you can't make it drink. Something like that. Haha.
Yeah. It's about more than just having the knowledge. Okay, so how do these soft skills come up in the interview?
Well, they often pop up towards the end. When they ask, do you have any questions for me?
Oh, yeah. That always feels like a bit of a test. Like, what are they really looking for there?
It's your chance to show you're genuinely interested.
Okay, but like, what kind of questions should you ask?
Don't waste their time on stuff you could Google, right? Ask about their goals, challenges, culture.
So like, what's it really like to work here? But more professional.
Exactly. You could ask about sustainability, for example.
Oh, that's good. Shows you've been paying attention throughout the whole conversation.
Right. Or ask about growth opportunities. Do they offer training on new dyeing techniques, stuff like that?
It shows you're ambitious in a good way.
And don't forget the team. Ask about the team dynamic, what they enjoy about working there.
So you get a vibe check at the same time.
Ah.
Smart. Okay, now the big one. Salary. How do you handle that question?
What are your salary expectations? It's a classic, right?
Yeah, and it always feels kind of awkward to talk
It
about.
doesn't have to be. Remember, it's a negotiation, not an interrogation. Do your research beforehand.
Salary websites, all that.
Exactly. And RoleCatcher can help here too, you know? It gives you personalized salary data.
Oh, right. Tailored to you. That's got to be more helpful than just seeing random numbers online.
For sure. Once you have a good range in mind, don't be afraid to share it.
Don't lowball yourself, but also don't scare them off. It's a balance.
Exactly. And salary isn't everything, remember? Benefits matter too. Health insurance, retirement plans.
The whole package. It's got to be the right fit overall.
And that's where RoleCatcher can really help in the bigger picture. It helps you find roles and companies that match what you want long term.
It's not just about getting a job. It's about that dream career in textile.
Exactly.
Well, there you have it. Everything you need to rock that textile dyeing technician interview. We talked about the tough questions, the soft skills, even how to handle the money talk.
Remember, prep is key. Use the resources, believe in yourself, and you've got this.
Go get them. Show them what you're made of and make those colors pop.